weather is getting cooler, and for some people that means barbecue season is coming to an end. But for those of us who never quit and never say die, it's actually just the beginning of cold smoking season. So today I'm gonna show you guys some really fun tips and tricks and kind of an overall how-to guide for cold smoking at home. And then at the end, we're gonna make some cookies. Do you like my intro?
I do. It's awesome.
First things first, let's talk about what cold smoking is versus hot smoking. Now, cold smoking happens in a very specific temperature range, typically between 65 and 80 degrees. I really don't like to cold smoke anything above 80 degrees. At this low temperature point, you're really not cooking your food at all. And we generally like to do this with food items that are going to be food safe, kind of in that danger zone temperature, like nuts or chocolate chips, or we're even going to cold smoke a little bit of cheese today. You can also cold smoke things like salmon that have been cured or bacon that has been cured and has some salt, and then the smoke acts as an additional preservative and a flavor addition. So cold smoking is really popular. There are a ton of things you can do with it. If you need a little additional inspiration, I do have another video all about cold smoking cheese. I have an amazing recipe on my website for cold smoked salmon, like that traditional lox that you would get on a bagel with cream cheese. It's absolutely divine. But one of my favorite ways to cold smoke is to add smoky flavor to sweet treats. So today we're gonna smoke some semi-sweet chocolate chips. We're gonna smoke some pecans, and I'm gonna show you guys my dad's recipe that has now kind of become Todd's recipe for the best chocolate chip cookies of your life. So let's talk about the basics of what I use to cold smoke. Now, cold smoking can be done on pretty much any vessel that you have. I do recommend a grill because it does create smoke and it does kind of create creosote when the smoke is in there. So you want to use something that you're not afraid of getting a little barbecue dirty, and grills are generally the best for that. My favorite way to add smoke without adding heat is to use a little product like this called a smoke tube. They have smoke mazes, they have a million different items that you can purchase. There are also smoke boxes that you can buy, but the idea here is that you create smoke that smolders and releases smoke continuously, but doesn't raise the overall temperature of your grill. And that's why this unit that stands alone is really nice, because it gives enough airflow for the pellets we have in here to produce consistent smoke, but it's not going to drive the temperature of your grill up too high. Cold smoking is also best saved for those cooler months when your outside temperature is under 80 degrees. I like to shoot for like 50 to 60 degrees outside when I'm cold smoking, because then I don't have to worry about my grill temp shooting up too high and turning from cold smoking into warm or hot smoking that then can melt my cheese or melt my chocolate chips. And that's about it. We're gonna light this bad boy up. I'm gonna smoke in my pellet smoker today. I got a nice clicky flame torch. And you just need to light about the top inch and a half or so to 2 inches of these pellets and kind of get it flaming first. I like to leave mine flaming for about 5 minutes, and then I blow it out so that it's not an active flame, and that produces the great smolder and continuous smoke that we're looking for. All right, while that flame is going, I want to talk about a couple things. First, pellet choice. I recommend that you choose a milder wood and something that will complement the food that you're going to be cold smoking. So today I'm doing chocolate chips and pecans and a little bit of cheese. So I'm going to use pecan wood because I like that flavor profile with what I have going on the smoker. Hickory is a stronger wood, oak is a stronger flavored wood, mesquite is very, very strong. If you want things that pull more mild, look to an alder or a maple or a cherry or an apple. Now, this guy is going on this side of the smoker because my vents are back here. So this will create a draw in airflow from the smoke to the vent in the back, and it'll give us a more even smoke flavor across the smoker. Now, there was a time in my life before I had the smoke tube and I still wanted to cold smoke things. So I turned on my smoker. I set it as low as it would go. With my pellet smoker, that's about 175, 180. Sometimes I can get it to drop down into the 160s, which obviously is hotter than I want for cold smoking. So instead of just overcooking things at too hot of a temperature, I dumped a bunch of ice on a baking sheet, topped it with a cooling rack, and then put my cold smoked items on top. The ice underneath kept the temperature of the items themselves cold enough, and then I would just rotate them throughout the smoking process so they would stay cool but still get the smoky flavor that I liked without an extra gadget or contraption, if you would like to try that at home. My next favorite little item that I use for cold smoking are these mesh mats. These again are available pretty affordably from any smoker supply store. You can find them online. These give the ultimate airflow all the way around the cold smoked items that you have in your cooker, but the mesh is a lot smaller than your grill grate, so you don't have to worry about things falling through the holes. So I'll put these right on my grill grates, and then I can put my chocolate chips and spread them out in a nice single layer. That way they get the smoke all the way around, but I don't have to worry about them falling through the grill. I also really like these because they're not metal. They're not gonna conduct quite as much heat as, say, a regular grill grate would. So that's another added benefit. Our fire was burning in our pellet tube for the last few minutes while I got everything laid out. It's got to the point now where the fire is out and you can see it's just smoky, smoky, smoky goodness. And it'll continue to smoke, I would say, for the next 4 to 6 hours is usually how long I can get from one pellet tube like this. Now, cheese does take a couple hours to smoke, but the more porous and small your items are, the quicker they take smoke on. So I'm actually only gonna smoke the chocolate chips for about 30 minutes. They take smoke on really, really, really quickly. The pecans, maybe an hour, and then while the cheese is still on the smoker, we'll use the smoky chocolate chips and the pecans to bake some cookies.
Chocolate chips go really fast.
They do go really fast. So I think 30 minutes is a great amount of time to get some good smoke flavor on the chocolate. You'll definitely taste it, but it's not gonna taste ashy or over smoked. And just one more thing to add when we're placing our items on the smoker is you want to give yourself distance, because this pellet tube really doesn't create a lot of heat, but it does create some. So we are going to be smoking on a colder day like today, and we're limiting the heat as much as possible. But just know, the closer you are to the pellet tube, the warmer it's going to be. So give yourself as much distance as you can between your heat source and your cold smoked items. The beauty of cold smoking is that during the smoking process, since we're not actually cooking anything, you can have samples to see if your pecans or your cheese or your chocolate chips have kind of reached peak smokiness. Now, with cold smoking, as with other smoking, when you actually cool it down and let it sit, the smoke flavor deepens and it mellows. And so it's not as harsh of a smoky flavor. It's more of a chill smoky flavor. So with cheese, I actually like to vacuum seal it, let it hang out in the fridge for a couple of weeks before we crack it open and eat it. It pulls all of that smoke all the way into the center of the cheese. With things like pecans and nuts, I think overnight is more than enough time in a sealed bag or a jar to let that smoke flavor really mellow. But because we're here and because we're crazy, we're gonna jump straight into cookies, because I mean, we have these beautiful smoked chocolate chips and these yummy, yummy pecans, so we should probably use them.
Did you say cookie?
I said cookies. So Todd's gonna whip up some cookies really fast. We're not gonna go step by step through the recipe because this is a cold smoking video, but the smoked chocolate chip cookies recipe is on my website. It's pretty much famous. You can also find it on the app. Todd does have it memorized. He makes it all the time. So take it away, Todd. Make us some cookies. Oh, wait. Smoker's preheating to 325 degrees. These can also be baked outside on your pellet smoker for another little extra level, but they're really good in the oven too. Sugar. Vanilla. dough is lovely. We're gonna add in 1.5 cups of our smoked chocolate chips, and these are great for cookies, like we're gonna use them, but you could also make a really yummy ganache out of this, a chocolate dip. Like, there are so many ways that you could use smoked chocolate that I think would be so yummy.
Yeah.
Just put them all in. All right.
Boom.
I would like to formally apologize to every chocolate chip cookie you've ever had before, because these cookies are gonna steal their thunder. This is going on a 325-degree pellet grill. Todd, how long?
13 minutes and 23 seconds.
All right, 12 to 15 minutes. Cookies have been on for about 13-ish minutes, and I think they're done. Oh yeah. So we've got some golden brown edges. They still have like some nice puffy height to them in the middle. And at 325, the cookies themselves aren't gonna take on a lot of additional smoke flavor. Anytime I feel like you're cooking above 300 degrees, you don't get extra smoke from the cooking process because it cooks too fast and you're more focused on heat and not so much smoke. So most of the smoke flavor in the cookies is gonna come from cold smoked chocolate chips and the cold smoked pecans.
You're gonna burn your mouth.
I just want to eat one so bad. Okay, we'll wait a minute. They smell so good. I mean, I waited, but I can almost guarantee you it was not long enough. Look at this perfect goldeny brown, beautiful cookie. Oh, smoky chocolate chips and pecans. Yes. Oh, I can't. I have to eat it. It's so good. Listen, the cookie itself is awesome, but just that light kiss of smoke makes it so much more interesting and surprising and a little bit complex in a way that feels kind of fancy and sophisticated almost. I mean, if you served somebody these cookies, I don't think they would immediately say, "Did you smoke these cookies?" I think they would say, "Holy cow, what is that?" You wouldn't immediately associate smoke with a cookie, but I think that's what makes it so special and so different. I have a feeling you guys are gonna love this one. I hope you try it at home. Even if you don't make the cookies because you think maybe that sounds a little bit crazy, I hope you try the cold smoking techniques we talked about in this video. You can churn out some really delicious food and use your smoker in a way that pushes your own creative boundaries, challenges what you think you know about food and cooking, and it's a whole lot of fun. And for me, fun is a big part about why I barbecue, but I also want to help create barbecue recipes that you can easily make at home so you can feed your family and friends and become a backyard barbecue hero. I definitely think you can do that with these cookies. We'll see you guys next time.